Hi there. The theme for today is that God is all-knowing. This is part 1, and it comes from Psalm chapter 139, verses 1 and 2. In verse 1 it says, "O Lord, you have searched me and known me." And verse 2 says, "You know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thought afar off." Now today, I want to explain part 1. Tomorrow I'll explain part 2 and later part 3. But right now, this comes from a whole section of verses 1 through 6. But there's one word, omniscient. This word really has two parts. The first part, omni, and the second part, niscient. The O-M-N-I, what does that mean? That means all, everything. And the last part, S-C-I-N-T, that comes from the word like science. And the idea of science behind it means knowledge. So your God is an omniscient God. He is all-knowing. So in verse 1, when it says, "You have already searched me," the idea of searched is really more deep than that English word, but more the idea of investigation. So God really investigates you, and He knows you well. Then this other part, to know. Really, there's various levels of that word. The basic level is, oh, I'm somewhat familiar. Or, yes, I know, but the other one is I know very well. Let's say, for example, you meet a friend for a first time. You say hello and have just a little bit of chatting. And a person says, "Do you know that person?" "Yeah, I know him, but not very well. I'm familiar with him." But then if you meet that person often, you begin to really know that person. But then this third example is like my wife. Will I just say I kind of know her? No, I wouldn't do that. I really know my wife well. I know her intimately. And boy, we have deep conversations with each other. So that's the level at which God knows you. That verse 2 says God knows when you're sitting down and when you're rising up. Have you ever tried to count how many times in one day you sit and stand? Can you do that? I don't think so, but God already knows how many times. Isn't that amazing? In verse 2, it says, He knows your thoughts afar off. Now, let's just imagine you sitting one day and you're daydreaming. You really go off in outer space somewhere, and other people look at you like, what's wrong with him? But even when you daydream, God knows every one of your thoughts, the depths of them. So tomorrow we'll talk about part 2.